Hi, this is Alex Taropoli from Rhapsody of Fire, and you're watching CMS TV. Enjoy!
It's Junkyard right here on your classic metal show with the Simple Man. And if you ever listen to those lyrics, very, very relatable.
Yeah, I'd say.
Very relatable. It's just like, yeah, give me whatever love you can give me, and I'm out the door.
Yeah, give me a little what you can and then set me free, please.
Yeah, I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah. It's the perfect song.
Chicks don't like that, though.
No, they don't. Of course not. They don't like that. They don't like Mac Davis. Baby, don't get hooked on me.
Right, of course.
You know, they don't like anything that tells it the way it is.
Exactly. All right. I don't know if you have anything, but I ran across this. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I ran across this story earlier this week that kind of relates to something that we talked about on the show.
Sure.
There is a version of the Canadian band, the Guess Who, touring around.
Okay.
They have a new album out, which fairly new album. I think it came out last fall.
Well, we featured it with, it's like the drummer and everybody else, right?
Gary Peterson, I believe is his name.
Right.
And you more or less kind of made a comment that you might even consider going to see them if they came to see them.
Yeah, I would definitely go and see them.
Right. Well, you know, two of the what do you want to call the founding members, being Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman of Bachman Turner Overdrive, who have not been involved with the Guess Who in decades, literally.
Okay.
Well, they have a problem with this version of the Guess Who touring around.
Is this like the first time that they're touring around?
No, I mean, when I worked in a club in California back in the 80s, there was a version of the Guess Who touring around back then, and we actually had them at the club.
Okay.
But it did not feature Burton Cummings, and it did not feature Randy Bach. Excuse me. Holy shit.
Jeez, you going to make it over there?
Yeah. It did not feature Randy Bachman at all.
Okay.
And as far as I know, but this was pre-internet, there was not an issue with them going out as the Guess Who.
Okay.
Well, now there's an issue with it.
Of course there is.
Because Burton Cummings believes that the current iteration of the Guess Who is quote unquote a cover band.
Wait a minute. It still has the drummer in it, right?
Yes.
Fucking as good as anything else.
Okay. Well, he doesn't like the fact that they're going out there performing the songs that he sang on.
Well, tough shit if he doesn't own the name. No?
So here's a weird, what do you want to call a legal move?
Okay.
To keep these guys from using his music that he performed with the Guess Who as advertisement for the show.
Okay.
For the past 6 months, Burton Cummings, founding singer and songwriter of the classic rock group, the Guess Who, has been in a bitter legal dispute to wrangle control of his whole band's legacy. Now he's adopted an aggressive and relatively unheard of approach to make that happen, giving up certain royalties so the band can't play his songs. So, you know, obviously American Woman, These Eyes, you know, Clap for the Wolfman, you know, all the radio staples that were popular mostly in the 70s.
Right.
I mean, that's really what people know the Guess Who for, right? They know the Guess Who as a early mid 70s band.
Yeah, they really just know those 3 songs that you just named.
Yeah. Cummings, the original Guess Who guitarist and the original guitarist Randy Bachman sued the current iteration of the Guess Who, as well as the band's original drummer and bass player Gary Peterson and Jim Cale last October, alleging that the group that currently holds the Guess Who trademark as a cover band, using the original group's recordings in ads in an effort to boost the cover band's ticket sale.
Well, yeah.
For live performances to give the false impression that the plaintiffs are also performing in this band. Now, see,
it's interesting.
I know this. I know this is a fact because when I worked at a club in California back in the late 80s, we had the Gary Peterson version of the Guess Who play at the club. Now, when we were selling tickets, because we didn't do the whole Ticketmaster thing, we were selling the tickets locally. People were calling the club asking, is Burton Cummings part of this lineup?
Okay.
That was kind of the important caveat.
Okay.
And the answer was no.
Right.
They had a guy that sounded like Burton Cummings, but they were the Guess Who. As far as we were concerned, that's what we paid for.
Yeah, sure.
And if I remember right, the ask price back in I think it was like 89, I think, was like $7,000.
Okay, wow.
But our club only hold like 400 people.
Yeah, so you'd have to sell it out and still charge a pretty good price.
Exactly. So, but as far as I know, and again, we also had Foghat there.
Okay. Wow. Which version?
Both. We had both. We had both Dave Peverett's version, and we also had Roger Earl's version.
There you go.
Of Foghat.
Who knew there was that much interest in Foghat?
Well, they were available, and the price was right. It was $5,600.
Okay.
So between the ticket sales and the bar sales, the owners still could make a profit.
Right.
But apparently, for whatever reason, and this isn't the first time because I know this from personal experience, an iteration of the Guess Who has been out there touring without Burton Cummings and without Randy Bachman.
Okay.
But for some reason now, there's a problem with that.
Okay. Well, legal wranglings, I guess.
Yep. So anyway, the case is still ongoing, and a federal judge denied the band's motion to dismiss the founders' suit earlier this week. But as the suit continues, Cummings has taken a nuclear action, terminating the performing rights agreements for all the Guess Who songs he wrote, removing the copyright protections that allow the band or anyone else to perform hits like American Woman, These Eyes, No Time at a concert. In effect, he shot himself in the foot to try to shoot the band in the face.
So, wait a minute. Since when do you need permission to sing a song?
That's a good question. Now, see, I don't know how the legal wranglings go because the Guess Who is a Canadian band.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're performing here in the US. So I don't know how the legal system works cross, boundaries like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this suit is filed here in the U.S. or if this is a Canadian injunction, or I have no idea.
I'm going to have to reach out to my guy Patrick Abbey of Crocus and see if they can still play American Woman.
Okay.
I mean, that because if you're saying that his injunction means no one can play it,
no,
that's a hit for Crocus.
No, he said anyone can play it.
Oh, so then how would that stop the band?
Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
I'm willing to do anything to stop the fake band. They're taking Bachman and My Life Story and pretending it's theirs. Cummings told Rolling Stone, they're not the people who made these records, and they shouldn't act like they did. This doesn't stop this cover band from playing their shows. It just stops them from playing the songs I wrote. If the songs are performed by the fake Guess Who, they will be sued for every occurrence.
Okay, but what about anybody else?
I don't know. Cummings' strategy is both very aggressive and particularly rare. Two music attorneys with no affiliation to the case tell Rolling Stone they've never seen such a strategy before. Cummings' attorney, Helen Yu, spent several months working to get the license properly terminated. She adds that part of why it's so unheard of for an artist to consider such a strategy is that often writers don't own the publishing, which is required to pull both ends of the license. Not a lot of artists are both the writer and the publisher on their songs, and Burton Cummings, fortunately, is. So this is a very rare case where the artist can take this action, Yu says. And I think this situation shows the direct nexus between their false advertising and who they say they are. So,
well, this is, I mean, dude, here's where this is interesting.
Yeah.
If this, let's say he wins this, which I don't think he will personally. I just don't think you could tell people, as long as there's a royalty paid, I don't think you could tell them that they cannot perform a song.
So, yeah. You would think so, yes.
You know, I mean, everybody's done that. But if that is the case, you are going to see bands left and right doing this with their music as they release music. And then, like, think about a band like Kiss. And I know Kiss already sold their catalog, but think just for shits and giggles, a band like Kiss. Wouldn't Kiss use that ploy and make every one of these 9 million cover bands out there pay them a fee in order to allow them to use their songs?
You would think so.
Wow, that could be a real problem for the cover band circuit.
Again, this goes with setting precedent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm willing to take the hit,
yeah, for
the long-term result.
And it's interesting. It's this guy looking for a long-term result. He doesn't have a long-term to live.
Yeah,
he's fucking 76.
Is that how old Burton Cummings is?
He's 76.
Yeah. So again, there's been versions of the Guess Who touring around for decades.
Right.
So who's got their bug up their ass about this right now? Because this is nothing new.
Why do I think it went this way? I'm gonna imagine for a minute. They don't get along anyway.
Yeah.
Gary Peterson and this guy hate each other.
Apparently so, because
they
he's
must.
Well, you're just a cover band. Well,
yeah.
We had a version of the Guess Who back in 1989 playing the show. As far as I know, nobody was calling it a cover band.
But why do I think the reason this went down, and again, I'm speculating 1,000%, I have no knowledge. Why do I think that Cummings tried to book a gig somewhere and he got turned down because the Guess Who was playing there? And therefore got pissed off and was like, these guys are fucking up my life.
Right.
And was like, and there's only one fucking guy and he ain't me. You know that's what happened. So he called this guy and told him to knock it off. And this guy told him to go pound salt.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, I'll show you.
Well, apparently, at least from this article, they own the name, the Guess Who. It's like, okay, well, you own the name The Guess Who, but you can't play my songs.
Yeah, which is crazy because no matter who wrote them, they're not listed as, and I know this from Starving Artist. It depends on what they were released as, not the individual guy.
Yeah, it wasn't The Guess Who at that time featuring Burton Cummings.
Well, but and with those songs weren't released as Burton Cummings.
No, they were released
as The Guess Who
back in the 70s and probably early to late 70s.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing and again, this is my knowledge of it, and I don't know that I'm the expert. I'm clearly not.
Yeah,
but
you're certainly not a legal eagle, Chris.
I'm not. But what I do know is that all he's entitled to, if somebody plays it, is a royalty for it.
Right.
So I don't think he could stop them.
Well, it's stopping them temporarily.
Yeah, well, that's
and
temporarily when you're 80 is a problem.
Yeah, well, as the story goes on, you'll see where the temporary stoppage has taken place.
Okay.
The move is focused on agreements set through a group's called Performing Rights Organization, PROS.
Yeah.
The termination targets all the venues the band would play. Almost every concert venue in the country has a blanket agreement with the previous pros, such as BMI and ASCAP, who collect royalties on behalf of the songwriters for the public performance of their works. If a venue has licensing agreements in place, the venue's artists are free to cover any song from the pros' repertory, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah, because this is exactly what we do at Starving Artists, is deal with the pro.
But when Cummings and his publishing company, Shillelagh Music, terminated their performance agreements with their pro, they removed the venue's permissions to house any performance of the songs Cummings wrote.
Wow.
So it's just like what Neil Young did. He took all of his songs off of Spotify. So they're no longer part of the repertoire that you're allowed to perform.
Yeah, except for that pussy caved. Now they're back. But.
Well, I know. Because Joe Rogan was a meanie and he said mean things.
Yeah, but that pussy caved.
Well, but my point is that's the strategy. It's just like, well, we're taking our songs out of that list that you can perform. And if it's not on the list, you can't perform it.
Now, what about a hit? What about Burton Cummings? Can he perform it?
It doesn't say that.
I'll bet he can't perform it either.
Right. Well, that's why they're saying he's taking a hit by taking that out of there.
What a stupid move.
But the whole thing is I'm going to starve these guys out until they stop doing this.
Dude, you're 76. That guy's 80.
And I'm going to reestablish it.
Oh, my God.
I can go do it.
This is never going to happen.
See what I'm saying? It's just like I'm going to cut off my nose to spite my face.
Wow. Good luck.
You see what I'm saying? That's what he's doing. It's just like, well, I'm going to take the hit. I'm not going to take any royalties. I'm not going to perform. I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to starve these fuckers out until they die on the vine.
Right.
And then once they're dead, then I'll reestablish. So I'm the only one who can do this.
Oh my God.
That's really what it is.
That is horrible, man.
Yeah. So I'm going to drag these guys down to death's door.
Right.
And then once they're dead on the vine, then I'll reestablish and go, okay, I'm the only one who can do this.
Wow.
That's crazy. Fucked.
That is nuts.
All right. That's really the strategy. It's like I'm in a cash position to where I don't have to worry about this. I'm gonna ride out riding the storm out.
That's right.
Rose sang.
That's right.
And I'm gonna drag them down to death's door and fuck them.
That is craziness. Well, hey, wow. I admire his moxie here. I will say that. That's a move, man. That's like, fuck you.
Well, again, it's hard for me, and I know hard for you to fathom that these guys, after all these decades, are depending on a gig.
Yeah.
It's just like, did you not save any of your money at all? Are you serious?
To quote the great Steven Tyler, it all went up my nose.
I guess.
None of these guys saved any money, dude. Dude, every one of these guys, when you see pictures of these guys in the 70s or whatever, they're all on private jets and
I
fucking...
know. It's just like, did you not save any money after the millions and millions of dollars that you earned? You got nothing left, and so you're still waiting on a supper club gig that's going to be $10,000.
Yeah,
are you serious?
To split 6 ways or whatever.
Jesus Christ!
I know it's sad, but it sounds like Burton Cummings did put his money away because he can wait these other guys out.
I guess that's exactly what he's doing. He's waiting them out.
Wow, that's funny.
All right. Cummings' counsel sent a note to the band's lawyers earlier this week explaining that as of April 1st, none of the venues in which the cover band is currently scheduled to perform possess the requisite license needed to publicly perform Cummings songs. That should the individual members of the cover band publicly perform any of Shillelagh's music compositions, intends to institute legal action to protect its copyright interests.
Wow.
So we're going to sue you all individually.
Holy smokes, that's hilarious.
The strategy, to the group's chagrin, seems to be working, at least for now. 2 shows were canceled over the weekend, with Barbara B. Mann performing Arts Hall in Cypress Lake, Florida, announced that the show was canceled due to unforeseen issues with the music licensing. The Sunrise Theater in Fort Pierce, Florida, similarly made a last-minute cancellation Wednesday night, also citing the licensing dispute.
Wow.
By Thursday morning, the Florida Theater in Jacksonville, the Sager Theater in Mobile, Alabama, and Peabody Auditorium in Daytona Beach, Florida, who would have hosted the Guess Who's next 3 shows, announced cancellations as well. Tickets for the show beyond those dates remain on sale as of this article's publication.
Jesus Christ. But those venues are going to get sued too.
Yeah. They're going to have to refund whatever money they collected, I guess.
Wow. Burton Cummings is killing himself because none of these venues are going to welcome him back either after they had to refund and lose fees for refunding in every city and every club in the country.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, you're the dick that canceled the Guess Who shows, right?
Yeah. We're not booking you. We ended up losing, $10,000 in fees, in credit card fees. They don't get that back. They only get back the bank doesn't refund all of it. They just refund the ticket cost.
Right. The face value.
Yeah.
All right. An attorney for the Guess Who didn't respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment regarding the shows. In December, the band took to social media calling Cummings and Bachman's suit meritless. In a memorandum, the band argued that there's no dispute that the defendants lawfully own the Guess Who trademark. Well, you might.
They probably think they probably never saw this coming.
Right, of course. Well, they might own the Guess Who trademark, but who knows what Burton did behind the scenes over the last 40 years to get his songs trademarked under his name.
Mm-hmm.
And the consumers who see an ad for a concert by the Guess Who would not reasonably assume that Bachman and Cummings are performing merely because they were in the band many years ago. Assuming the group does play the classic era songs at their upcoming shows, both the band and the venue they play could be on the hook for legal recourse.
Yeah, which means the venues are not going to book them.
No, well, that's why they're canceling the shows.
Yeah.
But like most nuclear options, Cummings' strategy doesn't come without the risk of some mutually assured destruction. While terminating the rights complicates the current Guess Who's performances, it also significantly hits Cummings' own earnings. Aside from working with concert venues, Pros also collects royalties from
Streaming.
when songs are played on the radio, on TV shows, or even when they're played on the background in restaurants or shopping malls.
Yeah.
When the licenses are terminated, Cummings will likely lose out on seeing these royalty payments. And that's not just on the versions he recorded, but on covers such as Lenny Kravitz's Grammy-winning American Woman cover. But Cummings is hoping that what may amount to a flesh wound for him would be a mortal injury for the group he says is tarnishing the legacy. Yes, I'm going to lose some money, but we're going to find out what's worth what. I will not have this fake band going on any longer.
Wow. Johnny Gioeli, if you're listening, we're not signing Burton Cummings. Just a note.
He's got a vendetta, man.
We are not signing him. He's got no royalties coming in.
Yeah. Cummings says, I'm going to lose some money, but the name is worthless without those songs. So what are they going to do? Hey, the Guess Who is playing, but what can't do? Let's see. Hey, the Guess Who is playing, but we can't do Share the Land or American Woman. We can't do These Eyes, and nobody's going to be there. The termination is the latest development in the decades-long dispute that bubbled over with last year's lawsuit. So I guess this kind of shit has been going on since I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It says decades-long dispute.
Yeah, wow.
The fight began when the band's original bassist, Jim Cale, obtained the trademark for the Guess Who name in 1986. Okay, so he had it when I had him, or we had him at the club, as the band hadn't secured the trademark before then.
Right.
And we've heard these stories before. It's just like, holy shit, that trademark was out there and nobody owned it. So somebody got smart and go, okay, well, I'm going to trademark the name. I own that now. Like, holy shit. Now he owns everything I've done.
That's right.
From then on, Cale had organized several tours using the Guess Who name, featuring a heavily rotating lineup, which I saw and booked. By the late 1980s, which I had them at the club, the Guess Who's original drummer, Gary Peterson, joined the band as well. Cale retired in 2016, leaving Peterson as the only member left, but he doesn't play every show, kind of like the guy
Mick Jones.
Mick Jones from Foreigner.
Yep.
Bachman and Cummins allegedly meaning some shows featured no original members, like Foreigner. Since Cummins filed the lawsuit, he said the band has removed his access to Guess Who's Spotify for Artist page. When the suit filed last year, the band's Spotify page showed a picture of the current Guess Who's lineup, but as of publication, it's now a picture of the old band. Okay. Cummings also tells Rolling Stone that within the past month, the band's lawyers said that they sue me if I ever say I was ever in the Guess Who. You know how ridiculous this is? What's next? Can I not say I was born and raised in Winnipeg, that I'm a Canadian? Cummins didn't specify how much he expects to lose by foregoing the performance royalties, nor did he say how much of a loss he's willing to take, but he seems willing to ride it out for the foreseeable future to try and force the band to stop.
Wow.
How much is my life's work worth? You can't put it in dollars and cents, he said. It's wrong. What they've done for years. Nobody did anything about it. But we're doing something now, and this may set some precedent because there were other acts out there that aren't real either, i.e. Foreigner. This is about way more than just money. I wouldn't have pulled the catalog if it wasn't Cummings added. This is about the legacy of the songs and the fact that the cover band is doing anything they can do to erase me and Bachman from the history of the group. I see advertisements for the show, and it's me singing American Woman. What they're doing is fraud because they're using real songs from real guys to push their fake band. I'm protecting the name of the Guess Who. I'm trying to protect what we did.
Wow. All right. Wow. What an angry guy.
It's like, well, again, I didn't read this whole article, but apparently this has been going on for 30, 40 years.
Yeah, it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
Well, that's tragic.
Yeah. So, but when was the last time you heard Burton Cummings do anything?
Ribfest in the 90s, maybe?
I mean, hasn't he profited from the Guess Who songs?
I think so.
Why does he care if there's a version of the Guess Who out there performing songs? Does he think that they're ruining his original?
It's not about that. It's about deep hate for Gary Peterson.
He hates somebody.
He hates Gary Peterson. And he's just like, fuck that guy. I'm not letting him have one fucking penny off of my back. Not one. I don't care if we were in a band together. Fuck that piece of shit.
Yeah, I know. That's just stupid, dude.
It is, but hey, whatever. All right, well, do you want to end the show on a happy note? Because that was a pretty sad story.
Yeah, but it's interesting because the only reason I brought this up because it's petty.
Yeah.
And we talked about it here on the show before because you had had an interest in maybe going to see the current lineup touring around.
No, not no more.
Where were they going to play? Were they going to play
Roxino?
Okay.
So
all right. So I'll let you take the reins and take control. And where are we going with this?
I just think we need something a little more pleasant,
a little more upbeat, a little happy.
A little happier, a little more classic metal-y, I mean, Guess Who? I mean, that was sad and tragic and
but
really classic metal.
You weren't aware of this, right?
No, not at all.
I just thought.
Not at all.
When I read that article earlier this week, I thought, I bet you Chris would like to hear about this.
Oh, I did. I definitely did.
It's a fucked up deal.
Well, it's interesting to me from the starving artist side, thinking, man, other bands could do this. Ooh.
Of course.
Hopefully my customers don't see this, but...
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Just don't give it to Stevie Rochelle to run with the story.
That's right. Well, on a happier note.
All right.
Saxon founding bassist Steve Dawson sentenced to 5 years in prison for abusing 6-year-old girls in the 90s.
Wow.
We have an all pedophile band now in fucking jail. You've got this guy, you've got that Ian Watkins guy that was just ridiculously crazy. Holland's dead, but he diddled a retarded kid, right? Or something
Apparently so, yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? According to the BBC, founding Saxon bassist Steve Dawson has been jailed for repeatedly abusing a 6-year-old in the 90s.
All right. So how did they track this down 30 years later?
Well, we'll get there.
All right.
We'll get there, and your question is very valid.
All right. I just very curious that why is this coming up now?
It's funny, Phil. The 72-year-old, who was a member of Saxon until 1985, when he was kicked out of the band, got a verdict at an earlier hearing of the Sheffield Crown Court on March 21st.
All right. So how old is Saxon? I know they were in the late 70s, right?
Yeah, like 79, 80.
All right. So he was in the band, 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
They were part of the original new wave of British heavy metal.
Right.
Back in the, late 70s, early part of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So he has not been in the band for 40 years.
But remember, he did his own version of Saxon. Remember the Oliver Dawson Saxon?
I do remember that.
And I think I interviewed him at one point.
All right. So,
nice.
so in reality, though, as far as the quote unquote, the Biff Byford version of Saxon, he hasn't been in that version for 40 years. No,
but he did write. I mean, he was in the band with the big hits with Crusader and, Denim and Leather and stuff.
Sure.
So, he's an important guy, I guess, in there, other than the raping of kids.
All right.
Let's see. The officer in charge of the case, Detective Constable Robert Heath, said Dawson thought he had got away with committing horrific crimes against a young, vulnerable victim 30 years ago. 30 years ago. She has shown extraordinary strength through coming forward, he added. It is clear that his evil acts have remained with her throughout her life, and I hope this sentence goes some way to allowing her to move on from these traumatic events. Discussing the charge, Heath assured that the case demonstrates just how seriously we take these offenses, urging others who have been subject to any offense, no matter how long ago it happened, to come forward and report it to us. He concluded, "We are here to listen, investigate, and bring the perpetrators before courts." So again, they're taking this kid or not a kid anymore, a fucking 40-year-old, at their word. They're not saying that, and here's the fucking napkin that he jizzed on or something. I mean, it's a he said, she said, and she won.
Yeah, it's accusatory claims.
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to say that he's not a fucking scumbag.
Who knows?
I know this, though, should have come forward a lot sooner than 30 years later.
Right. 3 decades later.
Yeah, that's just I don't know enough about rape to know. Is that like a statute the same as like murder, where there is no statute?
I have no idea, because it seems like the laws change every other year.
And this might be European law too, or British law instead of American law too. I don't think she could have filed in America. I think you're only allowed that grace period. Well, maybe she did under that grace period. I don't know, but he's in jail. Yeah, I'm not reading all this bullshit because all the rest of it is just horse shit. But are we shocked? Another guy that was diddling kids?
Not really.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's that guy. And then I got one very last thing, and then we are going to finish. My fucking back is like pulling itself out of the fucking skin.
All right.
But this one will make you happy, bro.
If it makes you happy.
Well, you'll like this one.
All right.
I know how much you love social media.
Yeah, not at all.
You love it. Stop it. You love it.
Sure I do.
And I'm sure nothing makes you happier than when you're driving by somewhere, or you're visiting a store, or you're, taking a walk or something, and you see somebody taking ridiculous selfies. You love that, right?
I love it.
Well, you'll love this one. Tourist plunges 170 feet to her death while taking a selfie on a popular clifftop viewing platform.
That happens a lot. that isn't a rare occurrence.
I know it's not.
that unfortunately happens quite often.
Too much. Dude, and I see these videos all the time where there's like people climbing to the top of these like statues and mountains and shit, and just to take a picture. It's like, what are you fucking doing? But this, honestly, do you say good riddance?
Yeah. That's just stupid. Would you do that? No. Would I do that? No.
Yeah, it's a good riddance story. It's a thinning the herd story.
I agree.
A woman tragically lost her life after falling from a clifftop viewing platform in Georgia, plummeting 170 feet.
All right.
Damn, she's pretty good looking too.
Yeah, but again,
Who cares?
it's the whole look at me, look at me, look at me. Here's where I'm at now. Look at me, look at me.
That's right. Earlier this month, Inessa Polenko, a beautician in Sochi, Russia, was enjoying the breathtaking views of the whatever viewing point in wherever, Georgia, which overlooks the Black Sea. The 39-year-old, who was an enthusiastic Instagram user, frequently posted travels from her global... frequently posted selfies from her global travels to her 9,000 followers. So she didn't even have like millions of followers.
Yeah, she had 9,000.
It's not a ton. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not a ton.
Right.
It's reported that Polenko climbed over a safety barrier to capture the perfect photo, a decision that tragically led to her death. Eyewitnesses claim that she stumbled and fell 170 feet to the beach below.
This happens a lot.
I know. I wish I could find this part. Disturbingly, footage that appeared on social media shows her body on the beach. I did look. I couldn't find it.
All right.
I tried. Paramedics were quick to respond, but despite their efforts, from falling 170 feet, Polenko succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced dead.
I think she was like broken into pieces.
Yeah, she probably was. She probably was just a puddle. There's just a puddle on the beach. They only cleaned it with high tide. The funeral took place on April 9th in Sochi, and authorities have initiated an investigation into the circumstances of her death. Here's the start and the finish of your investigation. She fell.
Yeah, she was a dumbass, and she wanted to appease her social media following.
That's right.
I have 9,000 followers. I have to please them all.
That's right. This incident highlights a growing concern as new research suggests that taking selfies should be viewed as a public health problem.
Is it?
No,
really?
It's not. It's a decision problem. It's not a public health problem. Guess what? If I don't ever take a selfie, I have a phone. I have no health problem here.
Right. Again, it's weeding out the weak.
Yeah. Australian researchers have found that over 400 selfie-related injuries and deaths have occurred since 2008. I think that number is drastically low.
Yeah, that's very low.
Maybe that's in Australia.
Maybe.
That's not... Dude, here, you see people getting hit all... Dude, Stevie sent me this video today. And it was guys... They were laying on the side of the road with their cameras taking photos of some sort of motorcycle race. These fucking motorcycles came by, probably 50 of them, 150 miles an hour.
Easily.
If one of them would have hit a fucking stone, every one of these photographers dead.
I agree.
And luckily it didn't happen, but I mean, if literally you're a stone away from death, so that you can get a photo.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. Get a wide end, or what do you call that? A zoom lens or something. Just dumb. The study notes that victims are often young women, with falling and drowning while taking photos being the most common cause of death. The researchers have called on social media platforms to alert users to these potential dangers. That's never going to happen. You're never going to see fucking Elon Musk saying, "Hey, Twitter world, don't Don't post a selfie.
Yeah, be safe out there.
Yeah. Why is it their problem? How about just don't be a dummy? Dr. Samuel Cornell, a risk expert at the University of New South Wales, emphasized in his study the selfie-related incident phenomenon should be viewed as a public health problem that requires a public health response. What are you going to give somebody a prescription? What's the prescription? A fucking lens cap?
When you and I were being brought up, your parents said, "Hey, don't run out in traffic."
Yeah. Now it's don't run out in traffic with your camera on.
Yeah. Don't balance yourself off of a cliff trying to take a picture.
Yeah. How about don't even be up there?
Right.
You dumb shit. To date, little attention has been paid to the averting selfie-related incidents through behavior change methodologies or direct messaging to users through apps. Well, no shit. The Facebook and Twitter, they don't give a shit. The only reason they care about if you die is if you're fucking paying to boost your posts. That's the only reason they care if you live or die. Although previous research has recommended no selfie zones, barriers, and signage as ways to prevent selfie incidents, our results suggest this may not be enough. So what are you supposed to do? Put up a fence? What are you supposed to do to people's stupidity? How about people just don't be stupid?
Right.
Anyway, it goes on and on, but that's the gist of it, is this woman fell taking a goddamn selfie.
All right.
And as pretty as she is, she's now a puddle.
Right.
Goodbye. Good night.
Yeah, she's out there with OJ.
That's right.
All right. Well, I know that you're hurting.
Yeah, my back's a little sore tonight. It's just
but I want to do one last thing.
All right.
To round out the hour.
All right.
Sheryl Crow.
Yes.
What is her legacy as far as her longevity in the music world? I know this is one of those things. It's like, man, has time gone by?
Yeah. I mean, what? I want to run to the sun or whatever, or all I want to do is have some fun.
Yeah. So years. How many years?
Oh shit. I hate that I know this, but I think it was 94 because I remember that was a popular song when I was working at the steel mill.
So what are we looking at?
30?
30 years.
Yeah, wow. Jesus.
Sheryl Crow is a 30-year legacy artist.
Jesus.
Doesn't seem like that, right?
Yeah.
But she's 30 years in on her legacy artist.
Ironically, that's the same number of pieces of toilet paper that she's used in those 30 years.
Right,
30.
exactly. Well, real quick, 9-time Grammy Award winner Sheryl Crow claims, and again, this goes back to the discussion we just had a few minutes ago about people and their money.
Yeah.
She's hustling to make ends meet because no one buys records anymore.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
In 30 years, Sheryl Crow, you didn't save a goddamn dime.
I'm going to just say I don't believe her.
All right.
I don't believe her that she's hustling the way we're hustling. That's for damn
Well,
sure.
again, I'm just reading the article as it's written. Now, the All I Want to Do singer, how old is she? Chris, quick.
60? 60.
62.
All right, that's close.
All right. Is forced. She's forced to sell her hit songs like Soak Up the Sun. All I want to do is soak up the sun. Remember that song?
I got a feeling I'm not the only one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that tune.
Every day is a winding road.
Another good one. Every day
He's
is a
having to
winding
sell
road.
these to the lowly TV commercials
Oh, shut up.
just to stay afloat.
So sell your catalog for $50 million and shut up.
Right. Well,
Yeah, I feel so fucking bad for you, Cheryl. Shut up. You fucking one square wiping smelly cunt. Shut the fuck up.
Well, her 1993 debut, 31 years ago, studio album, Tuesday Night Music Club, which I have a copy right here behind me, moved a mere 40,000 copies as music fans flocked to streaming services like Spotify, which shells out only $4,800 for a million spins. You cannot make money, the hit maker said on an episode of Bill Maher's Club Random podcast. It makes me sad and sick. I hate it because for me, when you sold records, you knew you had people. Now a friend exclusively tells In Touch, Sheryl always thought licensing songs for commercials was a sellout, but she sees now it's the only way to keep a roof over her head.
Shut the fuck up.
It's the end of the music business as she once knew it.
She's an idiot. That's just not true.
I know. I just brought this story because I just had to laugh. It's just like, Sheryl, after 30 plus years, you have no money? Are you kidding me? You have no money.
Yeah, she's broke. Meanwhile, she owns a $5.8 million farm.
Right, of course.
Shut up. You're so fucking broke. You dope. Shut the fuck up.
Right. So there you are.
Oh, what an idiot. Wow, that annoys me. That being said, hey, Sheryl, starving artist, we could get you more of your money.
It's funny when I read these stories, I think of you.
I bet.
What will Chris Akin say about this shit? Because I know how it makes me feel. But I go, holy shit, what is Chris gonna say about this?
Yeah, look at this destitute woman's home.
I know.
Yeah, she's destitute.
She's just trying to keep a
roof over her head.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There's the roof over her head. It's a goddamn palace. Look at this.
I know.
That's a fucking palace.
Dude, you're not fooling me for a second.
What do you think? This is a duplex and she only gets half? Even that would be more than I've got. Look at this shit. Oh yeah, this poor unfortunate woman. What a dumb thing to say. Let's see if we can get inside the home. Ah, here we go. Look at this inside the home. Look at this pauper's home. Look at this. Can you see that? Yeah, that looks broke, don't it?
Yeah, she's going to be living on the streets of Chicago before you know it.
Yeah, look. How does she live in such squalor? Look at this. Are you fucking with me with this? That looks just like the Rev's apartment. The fuck out of here with this shit. What a fucking idiot. What a dumb thing to say.
She's just working to keep a roof over her head for her and her two boys.
Yeah, shut up. I think how about this? You want to keep a roof over your head, sell the $5.8 million house, buy a $250,000 house, and you'll be set with fucking $5.4 million generating interest.
Right.
What an idiot. Yeah, she's fucking suffering. What a dope.
I know.
Ugh.
All right. Well, I thought that I'd bring you to a crescendo of the show.
Yeah, no shit. Wow. What a dumb thing to say.
I know. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back next Saturday and we will do this thing all over again. So thank you, everybody who's tuned in, everybody from Rumble to the locals to the whatever other platform.
X and Minds and all that shit.
You guys are great.
Yep.
All right. Since we're talking about money and wealth and, whatever, I'm going to close the show with something Jackal could relate to since it's over 50 years old.
Oh.
I'm going to leave you with something from the Dark Side of the Moon. I'm going to leave you with something with Pink Floyd, some money.
Nice.
Because we all love money.
Yeah, we do.
Take your hands off of my stack.
Yeah, because give it to Sheryl Crow. She needs it. She's
Yeah,
broke.
she needs it with her big $5 million mansion.
Idiot.
God damn it. All right, we're going to get out of here. So this is Neeley along with my very good friend,
Chris Akin.
We're gone.
See you, kids.
The internet has changed the game to where you don't need millions of dollars to own your own viable radio or TV station. A good concept and a great streaming platform are all you need. We've got that platform for you. I'll Get Drunk Noise is the best place to stream your very own online radio or TV station. We offer 24/7 scheduling, on-demand options, the ability to go live on your channels, and much, much more. Sell and plug in your own advertisements within your programming as you see fit. Our stations are fully licensed and legal. It's all here for you, so get started today. Just visit www.uncontrollednoise.com and let us know you are ready to broadcast. Uncontrolled Noise, your best place for online radio and television stations.